Hi there, this is Duke of Many Things back with Dice Talk at the home for dice who have lost their set, Orphaned Dice. Okay, so today we're going to talk a little bit about platonic and fair dice, but before we get to that, we'll have a little aside talk about dice accessories. So, dice bags. This particular case, obviously, it takes the shape of a dice, but yes, nice little pocket there. Obviously, you couldn't use this in a game because that is going to stop it rolling fair. Yeah, you will see it has the appropriate format, the net, if you will, for how the numbers are distributed, such that numbers on opposite faces add up to number of faces plus one. Um, so 14 and 7 add up to 21 for a 20-sided. 13 is opposite the 8, adding up to 21. Obviously, the 20 is opposite the 1. This format applies to the greater part of fair, even number faced dice. Let's bring somebody from the audience. Yeah, so again, that's the pretty standard net. So even when there's some other sigil marking the 20, that face will be opposite the 1. You can now go back to the audience. Thank you very much. Give me applause. As opposed to this one. Oh, let's bring back the audience member just for size comparison. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so this is a rundown die. Okay. Vocabulary glossary. Rundown. This is where a dice is used not for rolling, but just for marking a number that is apparent during the game. Marking a position in the running order, marking your number of points remaining. If you're playing a tabletop card-based game, MTG, for example. Yeah, so in a rundown or countdown dice, each number is next to one above and preferably one below, running all the way down. So you can leave it with the face you require facing up to show you how many points of whatever it is you have remaining. Okay. So there are people who run in games who will say, don't use rundown dice, they're not fair. What makes a fair dice? That's contentious. Such that your typical platonic solids, I mentioned this before, these are the tetrahedron, hexahedron, cube, octahedron, dodecahedron, icosahedron. Did I miss one? Tetrahedron, octahedron, hexahedron. I think I got them all. Yeah, so each face is identical. Each um, apex is identical, has full symmetry. Now, in the normal 7 set, the 10-sided, let's bring an audience member here, you will see the 2 varieties of edge, 2 varieties of apex. There's the points at the at the top and bottom, and there are the points around the middle. Two varieties of. Again, there are two varieties of edge. There's the edges running from the middle to the top, and there's the edges running around the middle. So, fair, yes, every face is identical, but it's not a platonic solid. So you can return back up there. Okay. So even the dice that are numbered, for example, in a 1 to 3 dice, it can be numbered 1, 2, 3 twice over and put on a 6-sided dice. That's still fair, still a platonic solid. The other variety of D3s, where they're by, how do I put it, rounded ends and flattened middles, such that it won't end up on the end. Still fair, definitely not platonic. Okay. Platonic, fair. What else are we talking about? Any examples? Oh yeah, right. So, where you've previously met this gentleman here, the rundown, this dice bag, not usable in game. We now have this gentleman. Again, this is in fact a lamp. It plugs in and it changes colour. You can't roll this in a game. That's going to disrupt it rolling fair, and there's the risk of damaging the inside. It does have the net, such that, marking the 20, but it's got the 18, the 5 and the 2 surrounding. So yes, this has got the same net as a fair dice, but you wouldn't actually use this as a dice. It doesn't even make a proper rundown, because you have to find the number you're actually looking for. Okay, so actually rolling fair, there are people who prefer their gem dice, transparent plastic, in this case red, such that looking inside you can see if there are or not any bubbles, which would cause the weight distribution to be different and possibly cause a imbalance in how fair the dice actually rolls, as opposed to this gentleman here, where you can't see the inside, so you don't know if it's if there are any bubbles. But again, the marble may or may not cause a different weight the weight distribution not to be uniform. There may be an imbalance as to, even slight, as to biasing one number over another. But either way, return them back to the audience. You learned your lesson yet? You haven't, have you? Okay. Yeah, so fair dice generally, each face will have an identical surface area. This helps you expand when you're looking at dice that don't have even number faces, D3, D5, D7, and so on. And of course, when you when your number of faces is bigger than 20, they do have a tendency not to stop rolling and be more difficult to read. D24, D30, D50, D60, D100, D120. But more of those in a subsequent episode. For now, that's me over, and I'll say goodbye and allie jacta est.